She was speaking to a newspaper editorial board earlier today and mentioned Bobby Kennedy's assassination when talking about the primary campaign. Here's what she said earlier.
People have been trying to push me out of this ever since Iowa. And
Why?
I find that, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I find it curious because it is unprecedented in history. I don't understand it. And you know, between my opponent and his camp and some in the media, there has been this urgency to end this. And, you know, historically that makes no sense. So I find it a bit of a mystery.
You don't buy the party unity argument?
I don't, because again, I've been around long enough. You know, my husband did not wrap up the nomination in 1992 until he won the California primary somewhere in the middle of June. Right? We all remember Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in June in California. You know, I don't understand it. And, you know, there's lots of speculation about why it is, but...
What's your speculation?
I don't know. I find it curious, and I don't want to attribute motives or strategies to people because I don't really know.
Those were comments made to the editorial board of a South Dakota newspaper called the Argus Leader. Now, the Obama campaign was quick to fire this off, a statement saying, quote, Senator Clinton's statement before the Argus Leader editorial board was unfortunate and has no place in this campaign. But the Clinton campaign tells us she was simply pointing out that primaries often go until June. Their quote from the campaign is that she was simply referencing her husband in 1992 and Bobby Kennedy in 1968 of historical examples of the nominating process going well into the summer. Any reading into it beyond that is inaccurate and outrageous. And just moments ago, as we heard our producer Peter Hamby in South Dakota report, Mrs. Clinton came out with further clarification saying, again, I was referring to my husband's campaign in 1992 and the campaign in 1968. I was referencing those to make the point that we have had the nominating primary contests that go into June. That's an historic fact. But she did voice some regret there. She said the Kennedys have been much on my mind in the last days because of the news of Senator Kennedy and his diagnosed brain tumor. She says, I regret that if my referencing that moment of trauma for our entire nation and particularly for the Kennedy family was in any way offensive. So Mrs. Clinton Wolf trying to at least put all of this in context. She does say she regrets those remarks.
Is this a source of any concern to you, or is this just a big misunderstanding?
I think this could be very big trouble for her. I mean, I've talked to, it only happened, I think, a short while ago, and I've already talked to heard from a number of reporters about it, and the question everyone says is, what was she thinking? I mean, I think we saw from the clip that sounds like she's exhausted. I don't think she woke up today saying, let me go ahead and draw a parallel between 68 and 2008, but to evoke the assassination of Bobby Kennedy, I think it gives the people who have been looking for a reason to say enough with her and to push her out of the race. It gives them a reason to do that.
What do you think, Kevin?
Well, it's, you know, extremely tasteless comments. It may have been in the, you know, the heat of exhaustion at the end of a campaign, but it does call into question the core argument that a lot of people have against Hillary Clinton, which is that there's a sense of disunity for continuing this campaign. And the fact that she would cite assassination from 1968 as a reason for staying in the race just causes so much more concern about her motives during this race.